Hello, it's Friday the 31st of May 2024. Welcome back to my many different gardens. I'm going to show you a new project. We're going to go into the orchard, talk about 2 experiments I'm running, and show you updates on all the different perennial flower and fruit gardens. So lots to talk about today. Here we have the beginning of our next project. This is going to be our herb garden. It's right next to our back door. That window leads into our kitchen, so it's in a terrific spot. It's partial sun, but artificially warmer because it's next to the house. So what we have here is just a mixture of things. This is oak tree that's starting, just from acorns from the squirrels. We have some kind of lovely flowering sedum down there, which I'll probably keep or transplant. And then this is a daisy plant that flowers very late and quite short in October. We have another section of it over here. This whole area we'll be redoing as the year goes on, but this part is going to be for the herbs. Now we're in cold hardiness zone 5B, but because of this being right next to the house, we could probably stand to be considered 6A or 6B. And we're going with perennials that are good for our zone. So, thyme, rosemary, oregano, etc. And I got a couple plants of each, and I will be spreading them out appropriately. Here we are in the orchard, and it feels like a meadow. All the dandelions are done, so those long stalks are just gone. And you've got these lovely tassels of grass. And we haven't had a spring this perfect in years. For example, all the moisture has given us tons of fruit. This pear tree is laden down. I'd venture to guess it's well over 100. Same with the partner over there. In fact, we'll just walk through bit by bit. Macintosh apple, you can see, same thing. The Reliant peach, loaded down as it has been for years. I really like going through my little path that I've cut out here. I think I will leave this go until it's fruit harvesting season, and then I'll cut it down. Right? I forget exactly what kind of pear this is, but it's a noted cross-pollinator for Bartlett's. My neighbor has taken a little bit of my yard. She's not too happy with the meadow, but I just think it looks spectacular. This is one of 2 experiments this year, to see how this meadow works. And also, I'm testing over here, also in full sunlight, which we'll get to in a little bit, wildflowers. This is the Granny Smith. I'll venture to walk in. And the Granny Smith does have plenty, well, not plenty. It has enough, and they're small. So this, I think, might be more of just for the benefit of cross-pollinating. What is this? This is the Honeycrisp. Nothing on it, but we saw plenty on the Mac. Here's one of the cherries, and you can see plenty of cherries. Probably 200 or so on this one. This is the Contender peach. Nice and full. It's just beautiful. What a beautiful, shapely cherry tree. And this is even more loaded down than its partner. The orchard is in good shape, folks. I'd also like to note for perspective, I'm 6'5", and all my trees are much taller than I am. It feels so good to be standing in this maturing grove. Let's take a walk through Lynn and Jerry's garden, as we've come to call it. Our aunt and uncle who helped design it. And planted, of course. Clematis is climbing up nicely. All the geraniums had the beautiful pink flowers. Now they're starting to close. The bush peony was also vibrant for all of 3 days, and then a storm blew everything away, but I got a terrific picture of a little hummer, right? Little hummel just like that, going around pollinating it. It's beautiful. I'm glad that the bushes have come back so nicely. I think this is the, sweet autumn clematis. It's about 5 feet tall from its base. The grasses have come back. I think last video I was concerned that the grasses were dead. No, they're not. They're just late showers. 1, 2, 3 sections of it. There's one behind the Japanese iris. Things about to bloom. Look at these lovely, quaint little blue flowers. I don't remember if the columbine and the iris were open. Of course, the lamb's ear is just beautiful, so silver. I had forgotten that these were yellow. Look at that. Nifty. And it goes so well in frame with the purple columbine that I picked up. I think when I went and bought these, all they had was purple. And I'm so happy because, to tell you the truth, I've never seen purple. And we're the only people in the neighborhood with it. The astilbe down here, by the time we get another video, that should be up. The coreopsis looks so lovely. The tulips are finished along the bench and little free library here. But I was fortunate enough to get 25 red canna lily bulbs from a neighbor. And I'm going to plant them in a row behind. Canna lilies get 5 to 7 feet in full sun, which this is, dark red. And I gotta dig them out every year in the fall and plant them in the spring. So that'll be an experiment. But can you imagine, right? If these come in, that 5 foot is, you know, pretty much as tall as the little free library. It should be quite the sight. My second experiment is right here. And this is a wildflower seed mix that I put on our terrace. And it's gone just wonderfully. Every single color you can imagine is coming up. All different kinds of flowers. It's really quite special. Nobody else in the neighborhood is anything like this right now. I'm eager to see it grow. And I'm giving it 2 years. You know, wildflowers take some time to establish. And if this is a success, perhaps at the end of next year, you know, end of 2 years, or maybe the end of 3, if this is a success, nice and full and drought tolerant in particular, then I'm going to rip up the grass over here. Sorry, there's a giant semi going by. As I was saying, I'm going to rip up the grass in the meadow over here and reseed it with this same short natural wildflower mix over there. Wouldn't that be pretty? Thinking 2 or 3 years ahead. I don't recall whether the window boxes were planted in the front pots last time, but they are now. Flags are out from Memorial Day onward. What has come up since last time? Of course, these dark purple bearded irises. And my yellow loosestrife is about to open up. Over the years, all of these plants have gotten shorter because the shade from this massive tree has encroached upon them. So we'll see if we don't make this a shade garden as the years go on. These are the last Japanese iris to open up. They're opened up everywhere else. This is my favorite bearded iris. I just love this white and purple. And I don't remember the name of this species. I call them my yellow button flowers. Random Japanese iris just popping up among the phlox. This same species of phlox is 2.5 times as tall in spots in my backyard and open. And as we continue around the bend, we get to Phyllis's garden. And things just look spectacular. Right? Everything's growing lovely. All the lupine. It's beautiful. I had to talk to my dear neighbor Phyllis. She's on her way. But finishing it off, we had some phlox that was done. Massive Japanese iris. The clematis is climbing, so that's good. Lavender's in bloom. I just planted a sedum. And the hostas, right? Look how special they look. They filled it in all sorts of different varieties. So, very pleased with Phyllis's garden. Whew. And more window boxes. And at last we get to the vegetable garden. I'm so happy to bring you in here. I'm glad that I trimmed these when I did because the raspberries are all quite heavy laden. If I lift you up over the top here, I had a plenty of space. Oh, camera cut out. I was saying I had plenty of space there, and now they've all grown together into the currants. So let's go on into the garden. These first small beds, we've got the climbing beans. They germinated just fine. Got some weeds to pick out in between them. Ditto with the sugar snap peas. Should have planted them so much earlier. They could have been 3 feet tall, but they're 6 inches. Ah, gosh, just look at these currants. Look at how heavy laden they are with berries. This is the red currant. The black is in the middle. This is what mature currants look like, guys. They're massive. I could have even spaced them another foot or 2 feet apart. And here are the black jewels. They look like fireworks when they're ready. My wife doesn't like them. My kids don't. Daddy does. And of course, look at how heavy the gooseberry is. The perspective is difficult, right? I really got to back up for you to see just how massive everything is. This gooseberry was probably 3 feet taller, and then it just flopped all to the side. These are pickable. Well, I can pick them anytime now, within the next 2-3 weeks. And then these are the base for jams, and they make excellent pies because they're loaded with pectin. In the next couple weeks, I gotta take out the rhubarb too. Here are the blueberries that I transplanted, and they're coming along just fine. They're liking the sunshine. Compost is breaking down. In here, the seeds that I planted were so old that they just didn't work. I think I had maybe 2 plants that popped out, and then they got eaten by slugs. So I got to do something else here, and nothing happened with the old cucumbers. They were a 2016 seed packet. I shouldn't be surprised. Ground cherries, doing just fine. The catnip. I've got some annual herbs that I'll plant later today. I'm harvesting strawberries now every couple of days. Like I picked a pint this morning again, and gosh, I'm so glad I didn't rip them out in haste. But they're just beautiful. I made a nice Instagram post about it. You can find me on Instagram, Christopher Ulrich. But there are tons of strawberries. I'm keeping this mint in check. Never plant mint in a raised bed, guys. Learn from my mistake. Spaghetti squash, plenty of germination here. I'll thin that out. And then we've got 2 different zucchinis. I don't know why this hill is so much less than this hill. Maybe I'll give it another week and then I'll thin that out and add one over here if need be. The lettuces, kale and chard, are just fine. And the tomatoes are growing as well. A little over a foot tall, each of them. That's a hedge of blackberry on both sides of the fence. Yeah. So there you have it. I know I'm in the sun. It's kind of hard to see me. I really enjoy showing you my perennial flowers and all of my fruits and vegetables. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. It's good to be back at YouTube again after such a long hiatus. How's your garden growing? What do you think of mine? Let me know. Anything about the fruit trees, the vegetable garden, any of the interesting meadows and perennial flowers that I'm doing. A lot of fun experiments, a lot of cool gardening this year. So wish me luck on this next project I'm about to start with the herbs, and I'll catch you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.